Hi guys, welcome back to the news, my country people. Femi Falana has reacted to the continued detention of Godwin Emefiele and Abdulrasheed Bawa in the DSS custody. Falana is a human rights lawyer and has also, tried to intervene in their affairs by calling on the federal government to release the suspended chairman of the EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa, and also the suspended governor of the CBN. My country people, the DSS, they've been holding Godwin Emefiele and Abdulrasheed Bawa. They've been keeping them in their custody, following an ongoing investigation. They had to grab them after Tinubu suspended them from their offices, from their respective positions. Godwin Emefiele was suspended as the CBN governor, Abdulrasheed Bawa the same as the EFCC chairman. So my country people, Femi Falana has reacted, telling the federal government, Tinubu's government, to respect the rights of both Emefiele and Bawa, even though the both of them, regularly disobey the court orders in the past while they were in office. Falana has decided to, intervene in their matter. So guys, let's find out more as we hit the news. But if you're joining us for the first time, you're very much welcome. I sincerely appreciate your presence. Kindly subscribe and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. The human rights lawyer Femi Falana has called for the immediate release of the suspended chairman of the Economic and the Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Abdulrasheed Bawa, who is being detained by the State Security Service, also known as the Department of the State Service (DSS). In June, President Bola Tinubu suspended Bawa indefinitely as the EFCC chairman. And according to a release from the presidency, Bawa's suspension is to allow for a proper investigation into his conduct while in office. This follows weighty allegations of abuse of office labeled against him. Falana, who earlier called for Bawa's release again on Sunday, asked the Tinubu's government and the DSS to respect the rights of the suspended chairman of the anti-corruption body, the EFCC. In a statement issued on Sunday, Falana said, indeed, under the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, the cumulative lifespan of a remand order is 56 days. Therefore, having exceeded the detention period permitted by the Administration of Criminal Justice Act and the Constitution of Nigeria, the State Security Service should be directed to release Mr. Abdulrasheed Bawa from the illegal custody without any further delay. In addition, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria also asked the rights of the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, should be respected by the DSS and the Director of Public Prosecutions in the Federal Ministry of Justice. Also in June, Tinubu suspended Emefiele following the ongoing investigation of his office and the planned reforms in the financial sector of the country. And Emefiele was detained by the DSS shortly after his suspension, and it took a court order and pressure from Nigerians for the secret police to charge him, for illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, a charge that has been withdrawn by the government. The government has, however, filed fresh charges related to alleged procurement fraud against Emefiele. And according to Femi Falana, the right of Godwin Emefiele and Bawa should be respected, even though these two, they had a pretense for disobeying the orders of the court when they were in office. But Falana said sometime last month he had demanded for the immediate release of Godwin Emefiele the suspended governor of the CBN, and also Abdulrasheed Bawa, and he has requested the federal government to charge the two detained to the courts of competent jurisdiction if there was evidence that they actually committed criminal offense. Then they can charge them to court. And it is public knowledge that Godwin Emefiele was recently charged with illegal possession of firearms before the Lagos Judicial Division of the Federal High Court. Even though he was, tagged, he was granted bail. The State Security Service treated the order of the court with contempt, and as the violent invasion of the court, coupled with the disobedience of the order by the court by officials of the State Security Service, could not be justified, then the federal government had to withdraw the charge of illegal possession of firearms. The case was accordingly struck out by the court, while Godwin Emefiele was charged with some economic crimes at the Abuja Judicial Division of the Federal High Court. However, in the view of this, Abdulrasheed Bawa hasn't been charged with any criminal offense whatsoever. The State Security Service ought to have released him from custody. And we know that Abdulrasheed Bawa is being detained on the basis of a remand order issued by the Magistrate Court in the Federal Capital Territory. And it ought to be pointed that the remand order has been spent invalid and illegal, as no magistrate has the power under the section 493 of the Constitution of Criminal Justice Act, to authorize the detention of a criminal suspect for 67 days without trial. The federal government should ensure the right of Mr. Godwin Emefiele and Bawa to be respected by the State Security Service and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution in the Federal Ministry of Justice, even though the two had, been disobedient, or even though the two have been disobeying the court orders while they were in office. So, my country people, the plight of both Abdulrasheed Bawa and Godwin Emefiele should be a lesson to all public officers in Nigeria who always behave as if there is no tomorrow. However, the government, which rules by law, is under a legal obligation not to breach the fundamental rights of citizens, except in a matter prescribed by the Constitution of Nigeria itself. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts concerning this in the comment section. Thank you. Bye for